Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, and I'm a New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and I'm also a proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am so excited to be speaking with a friend of mine, who I am so privileged to collaborate with on many projects. She's an acclaimed Los Angeles-based actor and writer, whose credits include co-creator and star of the Off-Broadway hit Emojiland the musical, and she was on the music team of the hit animated feature UglyDolls, and the co-writer of the Kelly Clarkson, Janelle Monae duet, Unbreakable. Her name, Laura Schein. For more on Laura, you can read more about her right below this video. But in the meantime, here's a sneak peek at the amazing talent of Laura Schein. Well, hello, Laura. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Will?
I'm doing great, my friend. Listen, the audience just got a little sneak peek of your off-Broadway hit musical, Emojiland, that you co-created, you starred in, and you also co-wrote the music, lyrics, and book, correct?
Correct.
Laura, that's where we met. And
I
went to see our mutual friend, Natalie.
Yep.
And I love Natalie. We love Natalie Weiss.
Love Natalie. She's amazing. She's incredible.
She's amazing. But, sorry, Natalie, but what was even more amazing is that after the show, I see you out of your pin curls on the stage, greeting your fans. And I literally looked at you, probably creepy McGee Will. And I was like, that vibration, that light, I darted. I mean, I probably interrupted a few people, but God bless. And I just knew right then and there that we were going to create something together.
I knew too.
We can go into that in a little bit, but I want to begin and make this about you. Laura, you're right now coming from Los Angeles, but you've been in this business for a really long time. And I know we have similarities within our own careers, but I want to begin with, where did you grow up? And when did you know that you wanted to do this professionally?
I grew up in a suburb of Chicago, Highland Park, Illinois, and I knew that I had to do this when I saw a production of The Wiz at the Marriott Lincolnshire Theater, starring Kenny Ingram, who ended up being our choreographer for Emojiland Off-Broadway.
Oh my gosh.
He was the Scarecrow. And the story goes that at intermission, I turned to my mom and I yanked her sleeve and said, I have to do that. I just knew. I knew it was my destiny. And within a few years, I'd started doing children's theater, and my first role was in a production of The Wizard of Oz at Lake Forest Children's Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And I was convinced I was going to play Dorothy, of course.
Obviously.
Typecasting, but I was cast as the little old lady, which was a cameo role in which I came out in a gray wig and a little bonnet, hunched over, and I was scared of the cowardly lion, and I had to run across the stage going, help, get after me, and I stole the show.
And you've been stealing shows ever since. This is why I love you. You have such an amazing spirit and light that I know is already being felt by everyone watching. But you have such a great sense of play about what you do. And I want people to really know what you are. You are a writer, you are a creator, you are a composer, you are a lyricist, you are a screenwriter, you are a librettist, you are a voiceover artist, and you are an actress. And I'm probably missing so many others. but everything that you do is with a sense of play. And, you know, you began performing professionally as a kid on was it the first national tour of Ragtime?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, the first like equity professional show I did was at 10 years old. I was Mary in the Secret Garden at Apple Tree Theater in Highland Park.
Yeah.
And then from then I got an agent. And so that's how I got to audition for the first national tour of Ragtime, which came through Chicago and had like a 1.5 year sit down downtown. It was the refurbishing of it used to be called the Oriental Theater, but now it's the Ford Center for the Performing Arts. And I played the little girl in Ragtime, and that's where I got my equity card. And it was a magical experience just being a part of that Frank Galati production. And yeah, from then, I mean, I was just totally hooked and was a constantly working child actor, did TV shows and commercials and did it all.
And then you went to college, Northwestern, right?
Mm-hmm, which is where my parents met, actually.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, when was it after Northwestern that you decided, I want to continue doing this professionally?
Well, I mean, I actually kept working in Chicago professionally.
Of course you did.
All through school. Of course you did. So, well, and some
You're
of it—
so humble.
Well, some of it overlapped too, because like Mary Zimmerman, who I'm so inspired by, she taught at Northwestern. So she taught my like performance of poetry class. And then she directed a production of Pericles at the Goodman, which she cast me in. So like, that was my junior year.
Wow.
So yeah, so I was going, back and forth between doing shows, in the city and then doing shows at school. So, but I stayed in Chicago for a couple of years afterwards. I did a production of Carousel at the Court Theater with Jesse Mueller. And it was an amazing production. And then they transferred it to the Long Wharf Theater in Connecticut. And so I did that. That was like a long process of like a year. And then I did a world premiere play at Victory Gardens my last year in Chicago. And, I was working really steadily in Chicago. And I think I might still be there continuing to work steadily, but I had this, crazy dream when I visited LA with my former partner. We came to LA and, we just were like, you know what, there's something really special here. And yeah, we have no connections in LA. And we actually had decided between New York and LA, we knew we kind of wanted to leave Chicago because we got married in 2010. And we were like, we're either going to go to New York or LA.
Yeah.
And it made so much more sense to go to New York. We had a lot of connections there, but right. LA there was just something about going west.
Exciting, a little left of center, because for people that don't know, Chicago is not only known throughout the country, but throughout the world as being a theater hub. And for those who don't know, the Muellers, Abby and Jessie Mueller, two amazing sisters, Jessie Tony Award winner for Beautiful, the Carole King musical. But, a lot of great talent, both in the theater, television, film worlds have come from Chicago, you being one of them, because you not only went to LA, but you conquered it. And you not only continued doing theater and creating theater, such as Emojiland, which was a hit off-Broadway and was playing all the way up through the pandemic hit, but you have also traversed in television and film and animation as both an actress and a creator.
That's true. And I do think it's interesting you always wonder, what would happen if you took a different path. But I'm so grateful for all this time in LA, in which I don't know if the opportunities I've had in animation, and I don't know if those would have happened if I had gone to New York. And that started. We worked on this movie, UglyDolls, this animated musical feature. And it started out as just sort of helping out, making some demos. And then in the final hour, they were looking for this duet for Janelle Monae and Kelly Clarkson. And the producers of the film didn't like the song that was going to be used for the film. And they said, scrap it, we need a better song. And it ended up being, over the course of 24 hours, we wrote the song that ended up being in the movie Unbreakable that, wasn't shortlisted for the Academy Awards. And, so really like an incredible opportunity. And Emojiland has been a 6-year process that, was over the course of my time living in LA, writing in between working on all these other jobs that, were paying rent, but at 2 a.m., always trying to figure out, okay, this passion project, what is Emojiland? What's it going to be? We did 8 page 1 rewrites because there's no inherent source, in the source material, there's no inherent narrative. So, and throughout the course of the writing process, our protagonist, Nerdface, didn't exist when we started writing because every year there's updates and new emojis are introduced into the alphabet. So, the show has evolved and changed so much over this process. And I've learned how to write musicals, throughout the course, because we essentially wrote like 8 different musicals, over 50 songs. And so, it's been quite the journey to get to the place where it is today.
Well, look from people seeing your impression of old lady number 1 in The Wizard of Oz to hearing about all that you've done, Laura, obviously they see this idea that you're game. Who would have thought that during that UglyDolls, you were game? You and your writing partner were game to just say, we'll do it. And you did it. And people just heard, while you were speaking the song, a little clip of it at least. And I think about even some of the projects that I know you're working on that you have to keep close to your chest, but that are incredibly exciting, that traverse, again, all mediums, but also the project that we're working on, an animated feature, and that, we co-created, that, you're also, that we wrote the story to, that, fingers crossed I'll be set to direct, but that you're also writing the songs with an amazing composer, Noriko Tsunamoto. And I just think that the sky's the limit for you, Laura, because you've already accomplished with so many different hats, all of the different, dare I use a baseball term, bases of the business. And I think of an app like FENIX, whose goal is to connect artists with not only new fans, but also with other collaborators. And I see the work that you've already put out there. Everything that you've touched as an actress, a voiceover artist, a creator, a writer, a songwriter, a composer, a lyricist, it's all transcendent. And I'm just so excited that you're going to be meeting collaborators, not only across this country, but around the world.
I'm so excited. That's what I live for. I live for collaboration. I live for connection. I'm a people person, and I'm so excited. The world is opening back up again, and we're going to get back in the trenches with everybody, because there's nothing I love more than just getting into a room and creating something magical with people.
And look, I will leave you with this because I know we can talk forever, or at least I can at you. Sorry, I know you've dealt with all my rants for these months, but
I love it.
I'm so happy that I'm so happy to have met you, and that like I went and kind of shook out my hand, and I was like, we got to do something. And who would have thought that a pandemic a few months later would hit, and it gave us an opportunity to not only create, but both of us, we did some healing ourselves, and you're a storyteller with a capital S, and you've been doing it ever since you were a kid. And I just feel so honored to be like a very small part of this journey, of your journey with you. And thank you for speaking with me today.
Oh my gosh, thank you. You're a dream, I love you.
Oh, hi.
In the digital age, artists and bands struggle to make a living. In fact, only a small number of artists can live off their craft. For the 98% of artists that don't have the luxury of being signed to a label, it's tough. But artists deserve to live off their art. Wherever you are around the world, appreciation of music does not change. FENIX brings bands and their fans together, whilst allowing bands to properly monetize their passion. The FENIX app will directly connect bands and fans with no need for middlemen. We're utilizing the blockchain to give the power back to the artist once and for all. Join FENIX, join the change.